Well, we're going to get something done because, 4 years or 2014 has been a long time. To all the witnesses, you've been invaluable to the committee. I don't know if we can pass a bill between now and the end of this Congress, but we can put a bipartisan proposal together. There's no reason we can't get this committee on one sheet of music in collaboration. And let me just end, I know we got another panel here, but here's what I'm worried about. I've come to accept that basic rights need to be legislated. Okay? That makes sense to me. That, if you get hurt, you're going to get your scholarship. That if it takes you 7 years, that's okay because you're spending a lot of time playing sports. I want to make sure it stays amateur in the sense that college football has a lot of people and swim teams that are never going to go on to the Olympics or the pros. It's a wonderful experience. And if you're on a pro team, you got to have a certain value. I mean, there's limited places for pro athletes, but in college, a lot of people are on the team, and that will be it for their athletic career, but it's a wonderful experience. So I want to preserve that. To the premier players, we need to do something about it. It is a dominated African-American starting lineup sport, and these kids come very poor situations, and their skills need to be recognized early on because this is their one chance to make it. I get that, so that makes perfect sense. What I worry about, coming from South Carolina where people treat football as a religion, is that if we don't watch it, Dabo and Saban get a lot of money because they produce results. Very few coaches get paid a lot of money that lose over time. But unproven recruits, people who really are great in high school, never played it down in college sports. I don't know what there are a lot of people that would just pay a bunch of money. And that's what I worry about, ruining the sport, that we get in a bidding war for that high-value recruit that just takes the sport in a very unseemly manner. That's why you got to have agents that know what the hell they're talking about. And you got to make sure that the crazy football alumni that exist out there don't ruin the sport. So thank you all. It's been a great hearing.
Senator Graham.
Yes.
This is George Rice. So I just wanted to
Hey,
make
George.
Hey, how are you? I just want to make one quick point, was that and I completely understand why so many people are focusing on the recruiting aspect of it, because that is, in terms of inducements, that is a big deal. But the name, image, and likeness legislation is also going to be paramount for students that are at the schools.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not even a Title IX issue. Let's take the University of Oregon, for example. A young lady that I know that you've heard of, so Sabrina Ionescu, she was the most popular athlete on campus, and Justin Herbert, who was the quarterback, the 10th pick in the draft for the Chargers, she would have made more money than he did in terms of name, image, and likeness legislation. So I just want to make sure that we're not focusing such on the recruiting aspect of it, which is a big deal, but make sure that we're focusing on the legislation as it relates to the athletes while they're at the schools, who will be generating the majority of the revenue.
Well, let's play that out, George. I thought of Rudy when I was a guy that never played but got to be a social phenomenon. I can see some kid somewhere out there who just people fall in love with for whatever reason. So
Correct. Yeah.
I think he made the greatest example. So, example, social media. I have friends that make lots of money on social media because they've developed a big following. A lot of these college athletes have that. A lot of athletes in other sports have it, but they can't monetize their platforms.
No, I know what you're saying. It doesn't have to be the premier player. I mean, if you strike the accord with the public, then that's what the free market's all about, within reason.